Welcome to Just Being Me. This is your sanctuary for all things real, magical, and unapologetically you. Here, we weave together the threads of balanced living, self love, and creative expression. Because stepping into who you're meant to be is equal parts exhilarating and messy, and it's all part of the plot. I am your host, Emma Garter, and I'm a self expression coach and creatrix. Each week, we'll dive into heart centered conversations, playful explorations, and a little bit of everyday enchantment. Whether you're figuring out life's big questions, manifesting your dream reality, or simply learning to know, trust, and love yourself, this is your space to create a life that feels so desirable that you would never want to escape it. So, let's skip the small talk and dive into the deep end. Your story starts here, and the pen is in your hand. Now let's get into the episode. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Just Being Me. If you're new here, I just want to give you a warm hug and officially invite you into this beautiful, exciting world and part of the internet. I love you for being here, and I'm so grateful that you tune in today. And if you're a recurring listener, I'll see you, and I'm so grateful that you're here. It means truly the world to me. And I love this little community that we are slowly but surely building together. So, for today's episode, we are doing the second part of the Realign series, and it's all about the sacral. I'm wearing all orange today. I got my creative juices flowing with the little flowers in my hair. They look a little interesting, but we are rolling with it. Creativity is supposed to be messy and not perfect, and that's what I'm channeling today. So, if you don't know what the Realign series are, I am doing the series where I'm dedicating one episode up until June 2nd to each of the chakra points in our body, the main chakra points. So last week was the root chakra, and this week is the sacral. And we love some sacral. It's all about passion and sexuality and creativity and emotions, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. So, if you haven't listened to the root chakra episode, I highly, highly recommend you checking that out. You can listen to this first, but I am consciously working from the bottom up because, like I talked about in the last episode, we need that foundation. We need that platform to be able to work, put things on top of each other. Like a house needs its foundation in order to stand tall, and so do we need our root chakra to be balanced in order for us to create the life that we want to live. If you also want to learn a little bit more why I'm doing this, definitely go check that out. The other episode that I made last week, I will link it in the show notes. So let's get into today's episode. The sacral. The sacral, like I said, is all about sexuality. It's about our emotion. It's like that fluid energy. Think like water. It's always moving and molding and adapting to the conditioning around us. And a lot of the times we go through things in life that makes us either use our sacral in a forced and negative way, or we also can hold back because of things. So, for example, with our sexuality, I myself have really struggled in the past of I used my sexuality in order to get validation. I used it to feel seen and held and appreciated. But by doing that, I also gave that power away. I also gave from myself, but wasn't able to actually listen to what was going on. Because my sacral was so blocked. My sacral was so like on I want to say like overdrive, so that I was giving and giving and giving and exploding, and like even like with my creativity, when I was doing when I wasn't doing well, I felt more creative because I could channel that like discomfort or um dis-ease into my creations. And that's also why we find a lot of artists who are struggling a lot to create incredible art, because you can use these negative energies, that negative emotions, fueling that into your creations. But then again, also the creative projects that you do are fueled with this energy, which is not of the highest good. Um, we need the negative emotions. I'm going to talk about this today. We need the negative emotions in order to be able to experience the light. So, in today's episode, I want to share about moving from having very like stuck energy and stuck emotions in your body into being able to transmute it and alchemize it into pleasure, joy, ecstasy, bliss, awe. Because I truly believe that we're meant to experience the duality of it. We're meant to experience the light and the dark. If we weren't, if we didn't have the dark, the shadow, we wouldn't have the light. You can see, like, if we didn't have the morning, if we didn't have the night, we wouldn't have the mornings or the day. So there's duality in life, and we need both of them. And when it comes to emotions, a lot of the times, um, it can be easier to shut down. It can be easier to push our emotions away because it can feel very daunting. It can feel very heavy, especially if we didn't learn to process our emotions when we were younger. And that leads me into telling my story when it comes to my emotions, and how I have moved from not being able to feel anything. Like, I was so numb at a point in my life. I smoked weed like a shit ton, and I was just numbing out. I was living in New York. I was super overwhelmed. And as a sensitive being, like, god damn, you gotta process this shit in order to actually land.
Okay, listen up, you powerful being. If there's even a tiny voice inside of you saying, there's more to me than this, then I made something for you that's gonna light you up. It's called the True Self Map, and it's your blueprint to stop playing small and remember who the fuck you came here to be. It's not just a map, it's a soul ignition and transmission. We go deep through your body, your breath, your visions, your dreams, and through all the 7 chakras, and we activate the real you. The raw you, the whole you, the unstoppable and authentic you. Because, babe, you're not lost. You're not broken. You're not wrong. You're not too much. You're just waiting for the right key to unlock the power that's already inside you. And guess what? You're holding it right now. So make sure that you click the notes down below in the show notes and step into your next level self through this free guide workbook. I'll see you inside.
Um, so yes, what happened to me? Not even what happened to me. What is my story around, or what used to be my story around my emotions? So I grew up in a small town in Oslo, and I have a dad who is very emotionally blocked. He had a lot of like trauma from his childhood with my grandparents not being able to hold space for him emotionally. So he had a hard time with my emotions. And it was hard because I felt like a burden. I felt like my emotions were too much and I took up too much space. And I got really used to pushing it down. I got really used to holding it back. He also had like explosions of anger, and I love my dad and we've come to like a good place now. There's still tension, um but you know, it comes from his past and his trauma and what he experienced as a little kid, not feeling seen and safe and held and all these things. But through him not being able to hold me, he's even said like, I didn't understand you. I didn't understand what you were doing. I acted out a lot as a teenager because I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel like I was getting any attention or love. I was receiving love in some capacity, but maybe not in the way that I wanted the love. So, what had happened is that when I got to New York, I didn't know how to hold space for my emotions. And I went through a lot of things. I went through sexual trauma. I went through ending up in the hospital because I blacked out of drinking too much vodka. And incredibly chaotic things happened to me in New York because I had so much chaos within me that I hadn't been able to express, to get out. Um, because emotions are just energy in motion. So, with that, it's literally just energy that needs to be moved. It needs to get out. And if we suppress our emotions, if we push them down, usually, like if you're trying to, if you start crying almost, you like push it down into your body, that energy doesn't really go anywhere. It literally just stays in your body. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted. It can only be changed into something else. So, if I had lived my whole life pushing things down, especially my anger, and not been able to speak up, and all of the chakras, they coexist. And if I wasn't able to feel my emotions, I wasn't able to show up fully as the person that I was or knew that I was. So when I went on this journey, this healing journey that I'm on right now, I really, really had a hard time feeling my emotions. I went to therapy, and every session that we talked about the same thing. We talked about me not feeling my emotions. Like I had such a hard time holding space for my emotions. And it wasn't really until I I went on a wild woman retreat that I was able to finally release. And there was a lot to release. Goddamn. I was completely blue in the face at one point because I was screaming, and we did like death and rebirth breathwork session, and goddamn, like I was releasing. There was a lot that I wanted to get out of me. And I still to this day have a lot of things still pent up inside me. But the thing is, I now am able to hold space for the emotions that wants to come through. I don't judge myself that much anymore. I'm still working on it and it's still a work in progress, but there is definitely a lot more ease when it comes to feeling my emotions. So that's what I want for you too. I want for you to feel comfortable and even in the discomfort of feeling our emotions, because yeah, it will be uncomfortable. It will, because especially if you haven't done it before, it can feel very daunting feeling an emotion like anger, especially if you're a woman. Feeling anger and feeling like it's okay to feel it in your body, it's safe for you to feel it in your body. It's a process. But I want to talk about this today, and I am talking about it, but I want to share today a process that I have concluded to. And feeling your emotions can come in so many different ways. And I want to share a few of them today. I have created my own little segments of things that I invite you to try out. But then I also want to share a few other things that I have tried and it wasn't for me, but maybe it's for you because we're all different and our healing journey is so individual. So I wanted to share more than just my way of doing it because I'm all about you figuring out your own way and you staying true to who you truly are. So I have three things, including my own, that I want to share. And I'm not going to go into it. If you are curious about these three different ways of feeling your emotions and doing the shadow work, you can check them out. I can definitely link the people that do these things in the description below. So I have them down here. Um, the first one is the Triple E method by Sahara Rose, and I don't remember the E's, but it's emote, express, and then the last one I completely forget every time. But anyways, it's a way for you to move through the emotion and then move into creating art through. Yeah, it's literally using your emotions and moving into what you want to feel and then taking all that energy into creating, which I think is a really cool concept. I haven't done it that much, but I definitely, if you're creative, I highly recommend trying that out. The next thing is Swamping by Mama Gina, and it's you embodying what you feel. And this can be in dressing up as that emotion. If you feel like doom and gloom, you can literally put like a trash bag. I think that's one of her references. You put a trash bag over you and you just like lay on the ground and you're like "Ah," and then using your voice and moving the energy through that. That's also a great way. And then the last one I want to talk about is kinky shadow work, because shadow work and feeling your emotions kind of go hand in hand. And kinky shadow work it comes from a book. I think it's called Kink. And extend. I will link the book below. This shadow work method that I am talking about is created by my mentor, actually my previous mentor Josefina Apple. And yeah, it's about fetishizing your shadows, so bringing that like taboo, like oh, you little naughty girl, you think that you're not worthy, like what, who makes you think that way, or something like that, making it more playful. And that's also what I want to talk about um with the practice. Like, feeling our emotions doesn't have to be this like dreadful thing. Yes, it can feel very daunting, but how can you lean into making it more exciting? How can you lean into being like, "Oh, I am feeling my emotions. Something is coming up within me. Okay, let me really just like immerse myself in the feeling and moving from a place of discomfort into transmuting it into pleasure." So these are the three that I want to talk about. And then now I have the feel your feelings method, which is what I do. I don't know if that's the name of it, but that's just, I love saying, feel your feelings, girl. So this is the practice. So first, I want you to ask yourself, is this actually your emotions? Are these actually yours? Because as sensitive beings, we can take on a lot from the outside. We can absorb things that aren't necessarily ours to carry. So by asking yourself, your body tuning in and being like, are these mine? Because there's no reason why I should be feeling this way right now. Maybe you're picking up from your neighbor. Maybe you're just picking up from the collective. There's so much war and misery happening in the world around us. So it's not weird that you might be affected by people's emotions, especially if you are sensitive. So start with asking yourself that. If you still feel the emotions, if you still feel like this like inside of you, whatever it is, this is the practice. So first I invite you to just notice it. Just notice what is happening. Where do you feel the discomfort? Does it feel very strong? Is it very subtle? Does it feel like a whole surge in your body? Is it moving or is it stuck? Does it feel like it's like locked within you? Maybe you can even, if this feels good for you, put a color and a shape to it. Is it like a swirling energy that goes round and round and round? Is it like a black cloud? Is it like lightning, like pain shoots or shooting down? Whatever it is, just notice it. Start by feeling into what is actually happening. And then the next step is to express. So feel and move the energy, really immersing yourself in the emotions. And based on science, the emotions really don't last more than 90 seconds. And yes, sometimes it will be more, sometimes it'll be less, but in general, an emotional wave will last for 90 seconds. So feel into it, feel like really submerge yourself into the feeling, and keeping in mind that like, okay, it only really takes 90 seconds for it to release. That will also help you to really be in it and not feel like you have to analyze it, or maybe it'll never end, because I feel like a lot of times that's what we think, that this emotion will stay there forever. But that's not the case. And when you do this, when you express, try not to analyze it. Try not to be like, oh, maybe that's why. Maybe, oh, maybe I'm feeling this because of that. Maybe that is happening within me. Try to just feel. Just be with the things that are happening. Turn off the brain, even though I might, it might be hard, especially in the beginning, but just like be able to move it. And you can do all kinds of movement. You can shake, you can lay on the floor. I love being close to the ground. It makes me feel very centered. And just be in the emotion until you feel like it's like, whew, okay, like this release, this lightening of the emotion, and sit with it as long as it feels good to you. And then the next step is to question, why are you feeling this way? What is actually underlaying the emotion? Because there's always a reason. If it's not yours, there's no reason, but if it's yours, there's always a reason. And it might not be a logical reason. It might be because your inner child got abandoned at the grocery store where at like I don't know 4 years old and you got lost, and then you feel the same way when you can't find your partner. All of these things. Asking yourself why? Why is this happening? You can journal, you can speak it out loud into your voice notes, whatever feels good to you, but trying to get to the root, trying to get to like why is this actually happening? And asking yourself why over and over again is really really helpful. And then work on rewiring that belief, work on rewiring that thing that got that emotion started. If it's like someone didn't text you back for a whole day and the underlying belief is that people don't really like you, they are just pretending. And the underlying thing behind that again is that I'm not worthy of being loved. I'm not, people don't like me because I'm not good enough. Work on rewiring that. Work on maybe write it down a new affirmation like, I am worthy enough just because I exist. I know I have so much to give to my relationships. And start the next thing is to transmute the energy, to move that like stuck and stagnant energy into pleasure, into joy, into excitement, into feeling worthy. Like, how can you embody that feeling of feeling worthy? Maybe you can stand in like a power pose, or you can feel very like expressive and whatever feels good to you. Transmute the energy of the negative belief and that heavy energy that you felt into pleasure, joy, awe, love, worthiness, and move into that. You can do that through dance, you could do that through writing again. You can just try to embody that new sensation, that new feeling that you want to feel. And that is the method. That is the transmutation of the shadow energy, that heavier energy. I don't like to say negative because it's not negative, it's just shadow and light energy into lifting your vibration. And that's literally what you do, because if you have a lot of heavy emotions within you that you haven't released, it's literally holding you down. Your vibration. I will give you like a freebie where you I talk a little bit more about this and how you can move through each step, and how you can name your emotions with the emotion wheel and all these things. But I will also add the I can actually add it here. Yes, I have the video. So if you're watching the video, I will add a little like image of the vibration of emotions, and you will see that like anger and all these heavier emotions have very low vibrational energy, and then the higher emotions have higher vibrational energy. So the more you transmute the heavier and lower vibrational energy, the higher you will go, and the more beauty, the more joy, the more goodness you will attract into your life. That was the method, and I want to just invite you to lean into it. If you are like I used to be, where you really just struggle to feel your emotions, just lean into it. It will take time, it will be very, very uncomfortable in the beginning, but then it will get so much easier. And trust me, it is going to change your life. I also wanted to share a few other ways to connect to your sacral. And I talked about creativity in the beginning, and that is a great way to activate your sacral. energy is to get into your creativity and just create in order to create. I have a friend who also does like she works with her emotions through creating art, putting her emotions into her creations. And that is also a great way for you to transmute your art or the transmute the heavier energies into um, just beautiful creations. Another thing you can do is self pleasure. Get into your pleasure. It's all about sexuality and learning how to say no when you want to say no. This also is, we're going to talk more about that with the throat chakra, but leaning into it and regaining the power over your own sensuality. Um, Taking it back, not giving it away to random strangers that you don't know. And, it's up to you. But for me, I have slept around a lot. And goddamn, I gave away my power. I gave away my most sacred energy, which is my life force, which is my creative force. We literally give birth to humans as women. And we do that through sex. And if you give that away, it's like you're giving your creative power away. In my opinion. And the last thing I want to talk about is do money work. The sacral is also connected to our money, and the more we get into a good relationship with money, the more power we give ourselves, the more our sacral gets activated. So before I end the episode, I want to just let you know that I have a few things that I want to talk about. So the first thing is this podcast series is a segment or a segue over into the new podcast Rebirth. So I'm rebirthing the whole podcast and I'm so excited. It's truly so much more in alignment with my purpose, what I'm here to serve. And as like a reveal party, like a rebirth celebration, I am hosting a free workshop on June 2nd, which is called Goddess Resonance. And it's all about the womb, heart, throat connection. So if you want to join that, if you want to reclaim your inner goddess power, being able to speak from your womb, from your heart, and be able to feel like all of you is more in alignment and actually go through exercises that will bring you into more cohesion and really make you feel like you get to step more into your power. I highly recommend you joining us. It's for free, and the link to sign up will be in the sub notes. I keep forgetting what it's called in the description below. And I'm also hosting an in person event, which is called The Body of Art. It's a woman's circle. So if you live in Oslo, I would love it if you join that. We are tapping into our creativity. We're doing body paint, we're dancing, we're singing, and I'm also hosting a cacao ceremony. So it's gonna be so magical, and I'm just so looking forward to seeing you in person or even online, and that will also be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. I am forever grateful to have you here, and I'm so excited for the future of this podcast and for all of the future events that will be happening this year and the next years. That is all gonna support you in becoming or coming back to who you truly are. I would love it if you subscribed or followed this podcast. It means the world to me, and it also helps me get out to or get these messages out to more people. If you liked it, maybe send it to a friend that you know is like working through a lot of things from her past and just needs some guidance on how to actually move the stuck emotions through her. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. I love you so much, and I will see you next week for the solar plexus. Woo!